Well, listen, welcome, Wells again, and Travon and Drew to the Huddle. Appreciate everybody that tuned in last week for Coach Jason Hart from USC. It was an awesome episode. Learned a ton about his story. He had a ton of awesome things to say. So if you haven't checked that out, that's on our LinkedIn page. But let's jump in, man. I'm just going to kick it to you guys. Give a brief intro of who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into the bubble of life. But Wells, we'll start with you.
Oh, all right. I'm Wells. Hi. I'm in LA, work in marketing and also as a DJ. I'm a basketball and sports junkie. And I don't know what else to say. I like shoes. Yeah. I like sneakers and music.
Perfect. Drew, what's up?
My name is Drew Ruiz. I'm your friendly neighborhood Mexican. I like to have fun, as you could tell. Like Wells said, I love basketball, I love sneakers. I'm tied into, the basketball space work-wise. This is just who I am. What you see is what you get.
Love it.
Thank you. Trey?
I guess it's my turn. I'm Travon Edwards. I'm a podcaster for The Athletic. Former teacher. I like shoes like these guys. I kind of like basketball.
Kinda.
I like sneakers. And my favorite hobby is to sleep.
It's a good hobby. What did you used to teach?
General studies, elementary level.
Very cool.
I was a teacher for 6 years.
Nice.
That's
Very
amazing.
cool.
Teachers are the best.
Yeah.
I'm a professional tweeter.
Hey, you do remind me on Twitter every day to drink my water, so thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. See, we're on the same page. But the reason that you all are here is we got to talk about our favorite thing to talk about right now, which is the NBA and WNBA bubble. But the NBA bubble life account just took off, and none of us knew at the time that it was you all behind the account. So give us a brief rundown. I don't know who wants to start. Like, how did this account come to life?
Go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you said?
Elders first.
Yeah, give it to our elders. Oh, that's funny.
I look younger than all y'all. That's the funny thing about it.
I'm 29.
Hey, you see these jeans, baby? Anyway, long story short, we got a group chat called Wealth, and it's just pretty much trolling Wells.
Because he's rich.
Well, because he's just rich, But Nick came up with an idea, obviously, with starting an account. And Drew had already started an account. Nostalgia and Company, or what co?
Nostalgia Co.
Nostalgia Co,
it's
right?
Like a side project, yeah.
But it's like, just in general, he just really loves the culture and just tapped in. So we're thinking like, hey, this is a cool idea to throw to Drew. Well, Drew, he ain't feeling it. He ain't just like, bro, I'm not really trying, because that's like a job. That's the thing. When you're doing that type of content, you don't really want to just do it. So Drew wasn't really feeling it initially. And this is 10 p.m. at night, by the way, on a Thursday night. And we're just randomly still up, just shooting the shit. And he says, nah, I don't know. So we all was like, yo, we'll help. And when he heard that we'd help, he was more interested in it. But we were all kind of paying attention anyway. And we start throwing ideas. And when the first video went up to J.R. Smith, it was gold. Like, we're just dying like, yo, this fool. So we uploaded. And when we uploaded it, we probably stayed up 3 more hours, probably 1 a.m. We found a couple more videos, guys just getting settled into their rooms, kind of getting the gist of like the packets, the welcome packets on the bed, just different things, just the unboxing stuff. And the last one fired off. We woke up in the morning and it got just hit legs. So
that's how quick it happened. It was overnight.
Oh,
yeah, it was
literally overnight.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of people have social media accounts, and it's hard to crack 1,000 sometimes. There's been people who've been on 10 years.
Telling, I need help. Help me out.
So we're there, and we see okay, 2,000. I'm not gonna go too crazy about it. I'm just trying to see what's going on. And obviously Drew works in social, and Wells has his account. He's went viral a couple of times, and Nick also works in social too, doing some stuff, and I do stuff too. So we weren't really going crazy about 2,000 by the morning. But by day 2, day 3, we're at like 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, this is, I don't know what's happening, but we on to something, right? And we had a buddy, Jeff Attila, shouts to Jeff, says, yo, you're gonna hit 50. So I'm like, I mean, that's not a goal, but cool. We was at 50 by like, we was like 47.4 at the end of that night.
Yeah.
Just rolling.
Yeah.
We got like,
I don't talk too much. I'm gonna let them chime in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got over 20,000 followers within 24 hours. Like, I mean, they just can't. We were like, what is going on?
And it's pure. It's all organic.
All organic.
It was nothing. Yeah, it was nothing like.
We didn't ask anybody to put.
We weren't thirsty. You know what I'm saying?
For the first week,
I did third person one time. I was like, yo, y'all need to check out this account. I just started following it, and it was early. Like I did that like 6, like it was like the 2,000 followers, and then I doubled down one more time at like 11.1, and that was it. And I left it alone. But it was so cool because with us working in shifts, no one can tell it was us.
Yep.
You know, because we're tweeting too, so it's not like there's no way like Drew's uploading something, Wells is uploading something, Trace uploading something. You know what I mean? So it just was like really organic. But Drew can explain the tweet style emojis.
Yeah.
I don't use emojis like that. I use them, bro. I think after like 30 some years old, you can't really use them like that. But Drew taught us emoji, the emoji dictionary.
Wow, Drew. You're so talented.
No, I think the funny thing about it was like we were anonymous with it, right? So it's like everybody was, man, who the hell is behind this account? It might be like some little white boy in the Midwest that's behind it, and I think that was the funny thing. So, if you follow me on Twitter and like social media, just being a journalist, I'm so punctual. Like everything has to look good. Everything, periods here, everything. So it was kind of like people are gonna know it's me. So we got to do something different. And I feel, a lot of people at brands, they kind of they're like this first person style where like they like to tweet in lowercase and like all quirky and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that in a sense that could be corny depending on who you ask, but it's not going to give away our identities right now. So I was like, all right, look, we'll just do it like this. We'll do like first name, last name, player, whatever, add an emoji, and then add him or her, because we launched a WNBA Bubble Life 2 at the end. So I was like, that'll just be the flow of it. So like you can go on the page and you'll see all these tweets and like you don't know which one's which. Like you probably can't say like, oh, this is probably Drew, this is probably Trey, this is Wells, this is Nick. So I mean that was just the tweet style of it. So I mean it's nothing really, like crazy, but we just wanted to remain anonymous.
So what made you change from wanting to be anonymous to New York Times? Shout out.
Man, I'll give backstory to that, right? Now, I have a good post on timing, right? And the season was getting ready to start. Now we were going to hold out as much as possible, right? And I'm just like, no, it's not going to cut it. We got to do it now. And so we're like, all right, we're going to set up all these interviews and knock them all out. And then we're going to agree to all these outlets that they're going to roll it out at a certain time. So everybody was supposed to roll it out at 10 a.m. Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, right? So 7 a.m. West Coast. Well, New York Times prematurely rolled it out. And I'm furious. I'm furious. Like, I'm like flipping, like damn near flipping my laptop and stuff because I'm just like, he just mucked it up. But it worked in our favor because we got to debut the picture. And then also we got to put our own twist on our own narratives. So everybody individually had a chance to explain their part, their role, and create another story. But then also the other stories start rolling out. So you got a little life behind it even more. And I think once the reveal came out, everybody was receptive. The thing is that we're such a diverse group. It's hard to complain. To say like, oh, they're using the culture or this and that, or they don't understand. No. Yeah, you got 2 black dudes, a Mexican and a white dude. And, you can get it all from everybody, you know what I mean? But also we know basketball. So it's not like yo, we just trying to get famous or nothing. It was like I said, it was a passion project. It was something that we're all having fun with, for friends, and like, in order to make this work, because again, you have to think about it. You're getting all this love, everybody's following, you're getting all this attention, and one person can slip up and say, hey, you know, that's me.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and a good thing about these guys is that they're great team players as far as being egoless. When nobody really cared about being the front man, you know what I mean? Even when we did interviews, it's like, yo, go ahead.
Just do it.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not really tripping off of like who does an interview or who doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, it was more so like, this is a group effort. We're going to celebrate this as a team, you know, and we've continued to keep that going. You know, obviously we're still getting content. I think we're at 132,000 right now, since the reveal. And, you know, it's been fun, you know what I mean? Especially, you know, us being LA guys, being in LA Times, being covered in local news.
Yeah.
Like I said, Forbes is cool. New York Times is cool as well, but like LA was perfect for me, especially my mom being able to see that. Drew, you know, Drew's very prideful Mexican guy, getting it off. You know what I mean? That's his thing now. I say some Spanish right now, Drew. But it's been fun overall. Like I said, I wouldn't do it with nobody else. You know, again, it's something that we've been sharing with each other. Anyway.
I think that's what's refreshing.
What'd you say? You broke up.
You know, I said I think that's what's refreshing, like that it's just you all who are friends, that it's like this is content that you would be consuming otherwise or be talking about. So doing it together is cool. And, you know, like we always talk about and share our feelings about, you know, this social media culture that we live in right now. And sometimes, like, you know, NBA Twitter, there's people in there that it's like, are you really connected to basketball? Do you know it? So the fact that it's coming from you all, I think is amazing. And, you know, I love the content. So a question I have is like, how do you guys, like, do you just pull all this from the players' profiles? Like, how do you get all the content and who's responsible for that?
Group effort. But you know, pretty much everything you see, we talk about. So whoever sees something, you know, throws it in the chat, like, what do you guys think of it? We'll come up with a caption and then get it up. So, you know, like Trey was saying, like the egoless part of it makes it work, because it does, you know, if we're all in agreement, like, we don't know about that, maybe not, but then something else, you know, might be better and we'll get it up. You know, so it's just whoever sees it first, you know, but that's pretty much how we get it all out. Yeah.
And do any, like, a lot of players follow the account. Is anybody sending you all stuff now?
Not exclusively, but yeah, but no, I mean, it's good to have the players, you know, support. It's good to see, like, they're having fun with us, you know, like the JJ Redick, you know, shotgun situation was like the most organic thing you could put. You know, Drew's fired off like how many retweets for, you know, for you to shotgun a beer, and then it went from 10,000, right?
Yeah, it was 10,000.
It went to, and nobody thought like, oh, okay, well, you know, they'll get 10,000. We got 10,000 like in a matter of hours. So, you know, it's just having the energy behind, you know, behind the tweets and the timing, like Trey was saying, you know, makes it all successful.
Definitely. So no other bubble insiders. This is all just you guys working together and seeing what you see.
No.
And I think that's what the dope part about it is, that people, when we did the reveal, I believe it gave the account more legitimacy, because people were like, oh, okay, it's these guys. Like, they know what they're talking about, right? But then also they're just like, okay, are y'all there? Because everything is so quick, you know, and stuff. So, you know, it's good.
Yo, by the way, you guys all just briefly met my dad, because he signed.
Yeah, I saw him pop up.
You just
signed,
he signed in as my account from the computer at his house. I just texted him like, yo, do not sign in. You're going to kick us all up.
What up, Dad?
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm like, that can't be real. So I wanted to ask, what happens if the bubble continues? You know, what happens if this is the reality for next year? I mean, is this going to turn into full-time jobs for you? You guys going to be in the bubble next year, covering it? Like, what does this look like?
I don't know, man.
I mean, if it continues to go on, like, that's cool, because we won't ditch the page just yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's not going to be like, once the bubble's over, you know, I'm gonna take over the page because it has 130,000 followers and that's gonna be my page. Like, no, that's still gonna be dedicated to the bubble. So if it comes back, just fire it up. But the way, with the NBA, you just don't know, right? And like, I think if they do a bubble, cool. If there's an opportunity for us to like go to the bubble, like off of all this, I mean, that's funny in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm pulling up.
Like, yeah, of course, I'm pulling up too. But yeah, so I guess the cool thing about it is like, you don't really know what's gonna happen. So we're just like taking it day by day to tell you the truth. And it's not taking away from the fact that we're also doing a charity shirt from it. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody I speak to, I try to tell them like, hey, it's cool that me and my friends are getting all this notoriety, to tell you the truth. But you got to understand there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world. We all know with the pandemic, we know with the social injustices and stuff like that. And I'm, in a sense, a part of me is glad that basketball's back, but I mean, it's bigger than that. We just wanted to shed positivity. So the charity shirt is going to be good. I'm excited for the rollout on that, and it'll be great.
And now, but it's not available yet. We can't tell people where to go get it yet.
Not yet.
Okay. As of right now, since like Drew said, we're perfectionists at this point. We had a design, we like it, so we're working on it. And we want it to be right, and we wanted to make sure that I'll actually wear it. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
I won't just throw something on it and say, hey, Wells, what do you think about this? You know what? Let's just get it out there just to get it out there. No, because at the end of the day, we're going to look back at this the same way we look at these newspaper articles and say, that was a cool thing that we did. But now we actually have something to represent. You can wear that shirt at all the time, Yep. And that goes for anybody that actually, decides to donate or purchase one of the shirts. It's going to be saying like, remember 2020 when the bubble, like that was a crazy time, but I got merch to show. It's like a concert tee. So,
yeah.
And it'll go to like a good cause. It's the Black nurses in Central Florida. So.
Oh, wow, nice.
That's amazing.
That's
well,
awesome.
We're excited for that. We will support for sure.
Yeah, let us know.
Thank you.
All the content's hilarious. I think what I love as somebody who works in the content space with athletes is like, this is the rawest form of just seeing them as human beings, and all the videos and photos that you all have shown has captured that. So what's been like one of your favorite moments or things that you all have posted? Like, has there been a favorite content piece or something that one of the players have done that you really loved?
Personally, probably Hassan Whiteside and his like date there his internet the other day. Him discovering the Mickey ear in bed. Like those guys who are just like they're just being themselves. And I think the bubble has a lot of these guys have great personalities, but they've just been cast in the light of like basketball players. But now, they were just like one of us for 2 weeks while they were quarantining before the game started. So, I think we got some epic footage of guys those first 10 days, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Mine is just being able to like play a small part in getting NBA guys to shotgun beers. I think that's just funny in itself, because like the opportunity was just like the window was very small, and I'm glad that I was on at the time I was on. So like, I mean, if you know me, these guys know me on a personal level, Dom as well. Like I have fun, so it was kind of like spur of the moment. Like I'm gonna fire it off. Like worst that can happen is he doesn't respond. So when JJ Redick respond, it was kind of like, oh, 10K, that's it? All right, bro, get ready. And I think it was cool because like he went through it, right? Like he did the shotgun and stuff, and then it just opened up the floodgates, right? Myers Leonard, and it's just NBA guys in general. They're competitive, So it's Myers Leonard comes out and crowns himself king of the bubble. Then Jordan Clark is like, oh yeah, and then it's like this whole thing. So I think that was probably, it was funny, and it was just funny just to see like something that you did is on TV, and like, I'm at the house watching this, and I'm just like, wow, like I'm really like everybody knows I'm for sure a troll now.
That's amazing.
For me, let's say Whiteside, man. And he's become very likable in this bubble, I will say. You know, I never seen his personality side, and you know, I just kind of watched him from a player perspective. So he's actually hilarious. I mean, I don't have any specific moment. I think just him in general just been just like really laughable.
Yeah.
I really like to see guys go on the night bike rides.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool because it's super random. Like Donovan Mitchell always has like a random soundtrack. So like I'm just kind of like, you know, like why is he listening to that out of all songs? Just riding a bike. But man, you can go down the line. So much content in the bubble, and you know, I really enjoyed doing the WNBA stuff though.
Yeah.
That's been a fun for me because you know they for one share so much stuff that I'll be have to pass on because it'd be the same players. I'd be like, you know what, I can't do this. Like I'm gonna just go through another one. But they've been pretty cool in the wobble because they got townhouses. It's a little different. They
It's
have
a little different.
Yeah. We got to give them their flowers though. Like we'll talk about, I mean, the social justice, you know, messaging and just everything that both the WNBA and NBA is doing. But I love seeing the support of the NBA players for the W. Like I think them playing like this specifically, you know, there's not always a ton of eyes on the WNBA, but I feel like there are more now. And I love seeing that the NBA players are supporting that too.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, they're all professionals at the end of the day. So,
Absolutely.
you know, supporting your people, and you know, I feel like it's just been, you know, more highlighted now. But you know, most of the guys have been super supportive before the bubble even started. You know, so now it's just since the spotlight is, you know, over Orlando, you know, it's just more eyes on it. You know.
I loved the how viral the orange hoodie went. All the guys were rocking it. Like that was like a whole movement in itself.
Yeah.
Of the support that you've seen from both sides, which is
and I mean, like, you know, I feel like it's just a continuance of, you know, when Kobe wore it the first time. When Kobe wore it, it kind of gave it some, you know, oh damn, what's that? And then you know, and then once the NBA guys started wearing the bubble, it became the biggest selling thing on Fanatics, you know, for a couple of days. You know, now everybody wants an orange hoodie.
Yep.
I know. Drew, I know you got to go, but before you get out of here, I know you mentioned it. There's a ton going on. Everybody in the world right now, everybody's stressed out. How has this account helped, you know, manage that almost as like an escape maybe, but like how has that been for you guys?
I think for me, most importantly, it was kind of like, you know, going through the whole job situation. I kind of took a step back on social media. Didn't really feel the need for me to be online. And I just needed like a detox. Like I needed a detox just for myself. So when I was kind of getting back into social media, like that's when the George Floyd stuff kept happened. And it was tough because like I saw the video one time and I could only see it one time just because it was that sad, you know? So I was taking social media in like micro doses, but it was everything on the timeline. And it just like hurt to like go on Twitter, go on Facebook, go on Instagram. So, you know, when we launched this, it was positivity, you know, because it was kind of like, oh, you know, yeah, we're looking forward to it. And I think the response, like the guys have been saying, it's been great. You know, we've been getting DMs. Hey, you know, my wife and I look forward to this when we come home. Like, hey, I'm going through this. Like we had one, and I'm not going to put, you know, his business out there, but he was like, you know what, this has really helped me get through. And it was kind of like damn, like we had fellas, like we have something. And I think it took me a while to like really understand that, but to see the response and to see that people like it and people enjoy it and people want more of it, I mean, as long as it's there, we're going to continue to like blast it out.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear about people reaching out and saying that it's been helpful. That's big time.
Yeah. You need just content that like cheers you up and makes you laugh right now, which definitely fulfills all those needs. And before we talk about basketball, which the play has been amazing, I'm like watching this Portland-Dallas game in the background, but like just touching on the bubble in general. I mean, there's been recently no COVID cases. There's efficient testing. The facilities are good. You know, it's incredible basketball. Like it's working. And could any other league really pull this off like the NBA? I mean, we're seeing the problems that MLB is having. That's what's been just absolutely incredible to me. It's like, this is really working and running efficiently.
Yeah, it's working because they stuck to it. They had a plan, right? And so when you have a plan, oh, you got bounced through? All right.
Yep, I see you guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, Drew. Thank you.
So, you know, when you have a plan and, you know, you got to put your hat off to Adam Silver for pivoting and saying, you know, people are like, a bubble, it's not going to, this is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. And this is the way it's going to be. And it's worked. You know, and I think that other sports are looking at it from a sense of not holding their players down, right? And, you know, looking at it, I'm pretty sure from a CBA negotiation part of like, well, if you're going to put the guys in a bubble, then they need to get X amount of concessions down the line or whatever. The NBA was just like, no, this is what we're going to do. If you want to opt out, cool. Yeah. You know, in the other sports, the issue, like baseball, I'm pretty sure baseball is going to end up going to a bubble once they get to the postseason. They have to. And I think the NFL is in trouble, and college football, we see what's happening with that. But if you want to have guaranteed success, this is the only way, right? Because you control who's in and who's out. You control, you know, the games. The games are, you know, no fans. Media is even farther back. So you don't run the risk. But, you know, a lot of the sport, like especially football, is kind of disappointing because they have the biggest head start.
Oh my God.
You know, the NBA was already in season. Baseball was just about to start. But, you know, college football and professional football had pretty much 6 months to get this together. And, you know, it doesn't look like they're going to. So, you know, we'll see what happens with it. But, you know, I think the NBA has kind of set the tone of, you know, if this pandemic keeps going on, this is going to be the way that's going to have to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Where did you guys land before this was a reality, before the bubble, in terms of, there was a lot of discussion about, hey, you know, from Kyrie, and he got a lot of flack for it, but like, is this the right decision? There are more important things going on right now. Should we just focus on that? Where did you land? Did you think we should have an NBA season, we shouldn't, and we should focus on way more important things? Where did you guys land on that? And then how do you think the social justice messages have been going, the names on the jerseys? Like, how do you think they've handled it so far?
Well, just working from a media perspective, I felt like until that time gets there, that's when it should be addressed. Recognizing being tone deaf, you know, I work for a media company, The Athletic, and I felt like we shouldn't be podcasting at certain times, especially during protests and all that other stuff. And they were very supportive, you know, and they didn't give me a gag order not to, like, you know, I was like, if I'm going to be on social media, I'm going to be talking about the stuff I want to be talking about. And they allowed me to do that. So kudos to them. But when it got closer to the games, you know, I knew that, you know, the social injustice talk, the marches and everything would kind of simmer down, and everybody would start talking about basketball being back. I was aware of it, and I think that it's still empty gestures. I mean, it's cool and all to see Black Lives Matter on the court, but that means nothing to me because there's people dying every day, people being arrested for nothing. There's people that have committed crimes and still deserve to live, you know? So I think that, you know, those are the real situations, and that there are people out there on the field really doing these things and haven't stopped their life work. So it's you know, again, like, I think that this gives us a brief stint to be happy about something and pause for a little bit, but we still have to keep the energy going with what's really going on in the world, you know? But like I said, it's been a cool experience. You know, I like the donations to certain organizations and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I think that's all you can do, but to be honest, I don't think any league, any sport has the real responsibility to accept these things. It's two different worlds, you know. It just happens to be someone's job that's displayed on a platform, but that's not the NBA's job to try to, you know, attack police officers or whoever it may be that's actually working, because, you know, in a certain situation, that's not the responsibility. It's a business, you know. Now, if they were promoting, you know, some anti, you know, some racist stuff, then that'd be a little bit different, because then it can get backlash. But most of the, like 78% of the league is African American, and they got behind it really good, versus the stuff that was going on in the NFL a couple seasons ago. So the NFL is kind of following suit. And like Will said, I think I can't be upset with the NFL because they have 54 players plus staff. And also, it's kind of hard to manage in any sport, guys being able to be disciplined enough to stay in one space. NBA, you got 12 guys plus 3 guys sitting, plus the coaching staff. Still light, but reasonable to house on this campus versus the NFL. So, and then you have to factor in the gear, the equipment that they have to wear. And basketball players don't need much. Uniform, go ahead and shoot. You adding pads, you adding a helmet, you adding all that other stuff. It gets really tricky. And, you want to trust science and listen. Dr. Fauci said no. There's no, regardless, and that's the thing. Baseball has been paused a couple of times, but they're also not being disciplined. They're having people at their hotels. They're having, they're just not respecting. They're not taking the right precautions to have this league succeed.
Yep. Agreed.
Definitely. Well said. Anything else to add?
Oh no, I just echo what Trey was saying. Like, basketball, like you said, 12 guys, you can kind of manage that. And, I've said before, I think what makes it easier for a lot of the basketball players to adapt is that they were just in AAU like 5 years ago. So it's like just being back in the same spot. So they played in that gym. They've been on that campus before. They've been in those hotels recently. So it's not like baseball or football where you have guys who are 5-10 years removed from college. It's like, I'm not going to that. I'm not doing it, right? And just like the pitcher from, I think it was the Indians the other day, who they went to Chicago and they won the game, and then he's out at the bar, like with his people. And so now you have situations like that, and that's going to be the reason why potentially they have to make some changes, because like Trey was saying, like disciplining 50 dudes is tough, versus, having a small sample size.
Absolutely agree. That's why this situation, just everything involved, it's like it could only be pulled off, like we said, by the NBA.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Before we chat on basketball a little bit before we go, like, what are our thoughts on the virtual fans? I found it really funny. I was a virtual fan for a game, and it was like a small highlight in my quarantined life. But I think it's really cool. They're just this partnership that they're doing with Microsoft in general is just showing like the emphasis that the league has always had on technology. But I think it's funny with the cameos and things. So was interested to hear what you all thought.
Yeah. No, I think it's dope. I think that for the players, looking up, like Kuz was saying last night, he saw his mom and his brother in the crowd. I think it's great for the fans, right? A lot of fans never, technically get that close to a game. So giving them some type of fun of like, yo, you're pretty much courtside and you're on TV for the whole entire world to see. It makes you feel like you're at Staples or you're at Madison. Well, no, the Knicks aren't in it, but you know what I mean? Like, so it gives fans the opportunity to be a part of the game. And I'm glad that the NBA did it. I know there was talk at first about there not being, virtual fans. They were just going to kind of play. But when you watch the game now, like when we were watching the first scrimmage game, we were all like, oh, damn, this is kind of nice, right? Like this isn't that – we thought at first it was going to be like watching Summer League, and like just empty and just nobody, but it's been a great – just a, great entertainment. And, if you put on surround sound, it sounds like, like you're at a regular basketball game.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought it was corny at first. But I also like that, like Will said, like having like random guests there. But then also it's kind of like sitting courtside. You get that exclusive club stuff. So like you might not have been able to go to a game ever in your life, and now you get this opportunity to be featured for one. It's a double whammy. You go to the game, but you also get to be seen on TV. So whoever's watching, you can be like, oh, I see my cousin, or, could you believe I'm sitting next to such and such's dog? Myers Leonard dog was on there with glasses, like Lil Wayne, you know what I mean? So like you never know who you're going to see. And I think it's a cool experience for people to, be able to experience that, because you're not knowing when we will be able to actually physically go back to an arena.
Yeah.
Cool experience.
I loved what the Suns did today. It like kind of made me cry. Like that was just cool because, you know, I love that the W players are able to have their kids and their families there, but I'm sure that's so tough for NBA players. So that was really just a cool touch of, you know, seeing how they're still implementing technology to make people feel like this isn't such a different experience.
Right.
Yeah, they had did it a couple games. This was the first time they actually did it to show the players.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the players had knew. I was fortunate to do a second screen with the Suns. So I went on and talked to well, Adam Silver was on was on today, and Rex Chapman as well. And then before that, Leandro Barbosa. So I went on twice. Barbosa was on last week. So that was pretty cool. And they've been doing a great job at getting their fans interact, you know, playing certain games that they would play during like a timeout. Get at home, like go find a fork. So they're like running around the house, like trying to grab a fork really quick, something you can brush your hair with, to go run to the bathroom and get a brush. And then I also played a sneaker game with one of the fans, and he didn't know any of the shoes. So I'm just saying them all. I think I went 9 for 10. So it was pretty cool. Cause I just know those guys' sneakers too, just being in the locker room.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we can't have you guys on and not actually talk about some of the games and the funny moments. Dom, you want to bring us into the first one?
Yeah, I mean, the games, like we said, have been unbelievable, but some of the drama too. You know, first, Damian Lillard. He's been my favorite. Probably him and Melo have been two of my favorite players throughout this. But what were your thoughts on, you know, the Dame versus Pat Bev and Paul George drama? Like, I love some good basketball drama.
Dame is like Dame. I put Dame in that group of people you just leave alone. So it's like, for me, it's like Dame, Steph Curry, and Drake. Like, you just leave them dudes alone. Like, don't try to come at them, because when they get upset and they put their mind to it, like it's a wrap. You know, Dame, what he said afterwards was all facts. He was like, look, I've sent Pat Bev home. I sent PG home last year, so I'm not sure what, you know, why they're sitting over there joking and laughing or whatever. You know, and I think that I like it because, you know, I know that these guys are buddy, but Dame, you know, I saw a tweet, I'm not sure who said it, but Dame is like, Dame just talks to his coworkers. Like, they're not his
I was
friends.
going to say that, yeah.
And so I like that mentality, just, you know, as a older basketball watcher. You know, but at the end of the day, like, if a dude sent you home, until you send him home, you don't really have nothing. You can't really go back and forth with it. And you know, PG, you don't want to see it escalate to where, like, people's girls are going at each other and sisters and all that like that. You know, that's not part of the game. But, you know, it's good fun. I mean, I would hope that, I'm not sure if they're all staying in the same hotel, but, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, if they start switching hotels for the playoffs, you might see, you know, a little scuffle.
Yeah. Sure.
I was going to answer the same question.
No, yeah, we can go to the next one. It's totally fine.
That's fine. Go ahead.
You want to answer it?
No, go ahead. Actually,
okay.
Whatever.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the Pelicans, like, specifically around, because look, I actually think I'm in the minority here. I don't get mad, but I actually don't disagree how they handled Zion. Like, they're not going to win it all. This is not that important. This is your $1 billion man. This is your LeBron. So I am not in the majority here. I know everyone was like, yo, play this dude. This is absurd. I know that. But for me, this is a 15-year thing. What is getting the 9th, 8th place seed in a bubble season mean? But I hear the other side. So where are you guys at on the Pelican Zion thing?
So experience is everything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, nothing's guaranteed. I mean, you can say, hey, I'll go there next year. You might not. It's not guaranteed that way. And the fact that they're managing him like he's a 41-year-old quarterback, I don't know if I want to agree with that. But, you know, like you said, it's a long-term investment. He has a lot of work to do as far as taking care of his body. He's been banged up a lot. So I do understand with the injury history and, you know, obviously what they traded away to get him. So I do sympathize with that situation. Kind of mad my guy JJ Redick's streak ended.
I know, man.
But
miserable.
You know, they have a lot of promise though. They have some guys that's over there working and doing what they're supposed to do. If they can retain Ingram, and they got guys like Josh Hart that's getting better each game, and obviously you add Zion in the mix, and these guys actually get some more games, like a full season together, and they're gonna be very scary. But it was a lot of inconsistency, and I'm surprised that they were even in that position. They won some games down the line late, so yeah, I'm not really upset with it, but I know Alvin Gentry is a nice guy, but he's on the hot seat, and I'm not sure what coach would be nice to bring him in and take over that team. But I hope that Coach Gentry gets another chance. He gets a hard time for pretty much managing Zion's minutes, but it's not his call.
Yeah, that's what I don't think people understand either, man. This is a 5-person decided this. They sat in a room and said, this is what we're doing.
Right.
Wells, you were shaking your head, man. You disagree? He should have played 40 minutes?
I guess I only disagree because they were off for 4 months. So if he wasn't right, and this is the thing, it's 4 months, and then the week before they head to the bubble, it's the Bane propaganda photo. So in my head, I'm like, Zion looks amazing, and I can't wait to see him play. And then he's on 6-minute burst, and you're like, all right. So, we were saying in the chat, like, just shut him down. Just if that's not what you guys don't want to play, then just shut it down. Because at the end of the day, in my belief, this play-in was because they wanted to get some Zion in the playoffs, right? And so it went from that to they're probably not going to make it by game 4. And now, but, it's fine. It worked out. We're going to get an amazing play-in, possibly between, I don't know, if Portland loses tonight, it all kind of goes in the air. But still, I think that, he's 20 years old. If he had 4 months off, if something's wrong, then he probably shouldn't have been playing in the first place, to manage his minutes like that. If this was going down the stretch and there was no stoppage, then I could see, because he was playing some heavy minutes. But you babied him all the way until January, and then he balled out every time he played.
Yeah.
And then you're saying, okay, we're going to put him on a minutes restriction. So, like Trey was saying,
his stats every time we played was insane. It'd be like 11 points, 10 minutes, like 18 points, 14 minutes.
His PER is crazy. But he has to play. And so, hopefully, with this turnaround, trying to, if they're going to start back in December, hopefully that's, mapped out by then. And like Trey was saying, hopefully Gentry gets another chance to really coach them in a full season.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
Maybe firing people in a bubble.
Not this season.
Come on.
We've seen, some rise of players of names that we weren't expecting. Q, TJ Warren. What are our thoughts on TJ and then the infamous, little battle of him and Jimmy Butler?
It was MJ with the braids.
Yep.
MJ with the braids before Jimmy Butler showed up. Like, we were hyped. It was funny. Last night I said, how is this game not on national TV?
I thought the same thing.
They had to calm me down and was like, nah, if you're not really into the NBA, you would have no idea that this is a thing. And for the most part, it wasn't, because, TJ was shook when because Jimmy wasn't taking no shit when he got out there. He was just like, nah, we're going to lock you up and you're going to have to score. And he's just backing up what he said. So I think that's dead. I don't think that the game now, I think they play again on Thursday or Friday. It's not going to be,
won't be a thing.
Not a thing anymore.
His comments were hysterical.
Yeah, I disagree.
Hey, all right.
Oh, let's hear your take.
For one, TJ Warren's not a slouch. Never been a slouch. Always been a bucket. He played in Phoenix. Ain't get no national coverage. Same thing. That's why people are tripping off this whole Bubble Boys thing. I'm in Phoenix, by the way, so that's why I'm like not a Suns fan, but I've been covering them pretty closely. So, but I don't really think this was a big deal. This is going to be a potential playoff matchup, and now we have to open our eyes. It wasn't a must win. I think that the fans really hyped this up just because of the altercation. What I mean? But it's better to play the long game than actually going on one-on-one basketball, and that's how the Pacers roll. You know what I mean? Obviously, it wasn't TJ Warren's night. He didn't shoot well while being guarded by Jimmy Butler, and it's a pat on the back for him. But I don't expect him to back down in the playoff series. I think he'll have a better performance.
Let's stick with the Suns. What the hell is going on? 6-0. Devin
Oh,
Booker
boys.
is
7-0.
7-0 out of his marvel.
One more game and they run the table.
What?
But
Tell me why this is happening.
Nothing to lose.
nah, not that. They got a lot to lose.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but like,
I was gonna say, well, hey, they got a lot to lose. It's the thing. The thing is that these guys finally have their outside. They're bought in, and guys are really trusting Monty, and they're really focused and feel something special that they get to play for something. Even though Aiden almost, had a hiccup with doing the pod with Woj and missing his COVID test, but. Overall, man, they just locked in. Devin Booker has had 4 35-point games. So, he's just in a different zone, and guys are just starting to feel it, you know what I mean? And their glue guys are really stepping up. You got Mikal Bridges, who's up for the Dan Marley Award. And then you got Javon Carter and Campaign, who I never thought I would be speaking about right now. He's applying so much pressure on the ball handlers that's making life, much easier. And then everybody, Frank Kaminsky had a good game today. Like, you can go down the line. I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan. I'm not a Suns fan, but I've been covering them closely, and I know, I'm not in shock that Book is doing this. Like he's bought in, and the All-Star wasn't a fluke, and he continued to play with that confidence, like he said, every night, be legendary as Kobe told him, and he's playing with Kobe with him every night. He says Kobe's with him every night. So he's just his confidence is high. He trusts his teammates, and they've been getting after it. And ironically, like, teams have been just, banged up. Each team that they matched up has kind of worked in their favor, but that doesn't mean it's a gimme game because they can play down to the level and trick it off.
Yeah. Yeah, what I was saying, like, they didn't have anything to lose, more in the sense of nobody was counting on them. Their margin of error was like a game or 2 games max, right? So if they were to go 6-2 or 4-4, people would have been like, oh, they showed up, it's fine. The part that sucks is that with how these seedings are, they could run the table and still not make it into the play-in. So it's kind of the cruel part of, like, damn, if we would have got one game more during the season. But I think it's something to look forward to for the next season, right? This type of energy that they're playing with can carry over. And the confidence that guys have of, like, we've literally gone out and beat, and they didn't have an easy schedule either. No. So sure, things have broken their way with, guys resting or injuries and things like that, but you still got to win the game. So, they've been playing their asses off, and I hope that they can get in. I would love to see them in Portland. That would be amazing.
I would love that. Yeah. I think I like that they're all down there together. I was listening to DeAndre Ayton on the Woj pod today, and it's like, I think there's a confidence too with the teams being down there and, like, isolated and more together. Like, it's adding to that chemistry that, not saying that you wouldn't have it in the regular season, but I just think it's different, especially after having the time off that they had. It's exciting to see the momentum that some of these other teams that you said, we wouldn't be expecting. Yeah. But for you, Wells, a team that we all talk about a lot, like, are the Lakers. Are we worried about the Lakers yet? Offense has been a little bit shaky. What are our thoughts?
I'm not worried as a fan. I think last night was a good example of what they can do. Have they flipped the switch? Possibly. And when LeBron and AD are dialed in, like, it's tough to beat them. And then more in the sense of, I don't know if there's a team that it's going to be tough to beat them 4 times in 7 games. It's going to be tough with no home court advantage on either side. But, I like, last night was perfect. Last night was, Bron had a great game. AD had a great game. Kuz had a great game. So if those 3 have a good game, most of the time they're going to win, right? You don't win 50 games on a fluke. So I'm not worried. Matchups, definitely. If they play Portland, of course, they don't have an answer for Dame at all, who's got 50 tonight again. So it's like, of course, that, anybody can be upset, but I'm not worried. I think that, I think playoff LeBron is playoff LeBron, so I'm going to kind of just ride on that.
Yeah. Until he proves otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Can't bet against that dude.
Yeah, I mean, last time, he's been in the finals outside of last year for the last 2 years. So, until I see something different, then I'm just going to roll with that.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Trey, what do you think?
He's like, I have no comments.
No,
Also,
it's
this
not
game
that.
right now is
I
crazy.
don't have nothing nice to say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not a Laker hater or anything, but I think it's wide open for anybody to win it.
I
That's
agree.
what I'm saying. I ain't gonna just say it's in the bag because they look hella slow. They ain't looking like, we had PJ Dozier dicing the Lakers up. You know what I mean? And he was one free throw away from that that nice ATO that Vogel drew up.
Yeah.
Outside of that, LeBron said, and how their legs, again, very, 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 very talented. One of the league's best ever. Shouts to LeBron, got 80. If they wake it up, but don't be surprised if they get punched in the mouth being too cool too. So that's my thing. I think the West is very competitive this year. Whoever's going to see OKC is going to have a dogfight. Whoever's going to see the Mavs is going to have a dogfight. So it's going to be matchups because guys are, tired. Guys are putting in work. Guys are very hungry. Different guys are trying to make a name for themselves. So again, I don't think it's a cakewalk. But I do still see them as the favorites to go if they don't slack off, But obviously right now they need Kuz to be a third man. His confidence is really high, so that's a good thing for the nation. But, I feel nothing. I covered the Milwaukee Bucks this entire season. And I called Milwaukee Los Angeles Clippers in the finals, and that the Bucks will win it all. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong because this is not a game of being Negro dominant and guessing the right thing. I'm just watching from.
That's not a bad prediction though.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I said, I like the little banter that Wells has with Clipper fans and vice versa. So I get a kick out of that. I don't have a team anymore. I used to be a Chicago Bulls fan back in the day, but at this particular moment,
Hey, second half's about to start.
No, we're about to wrap up, Drew.
We're about to wrap up. You get the last couple.
Oh,
The
man.
last two
Damn.
questions.
I'm on color people time. Shit.
Okay, the last two questions are for you though, because this game is tight, so we gotta
go ahead.
we gotta get to it. Drew, last two, best of the bubble. Who's had the best bubble fits so far?
Fits?
Yeah,
Oh, man, PJ.
PJ always does.
Oh, you know what? Man, I think the best one for me, I'm just gonna say Bron. The way he came out, unbuttoned.
Mike Lowry joint.
Boom.
Orlando Vice
Boom.
on.
That's how I'm
Mike
putting
Lowry.
up to the rooftop this weekend.
Yeah.
That's it. Man, I got no chest hair, everything But
No, Bron fit was great because for one, as somebody over 35, I was like, that's goals.
You gotta wear that
That's the goal right there.
Yeah. After 35, like you're just like, nah, button that all the way up. Mike Lowry out here. Yeah.
That was great. That's my best fit of the bubble.
I loved Kawhi's fit where all the memes are like how you walk to like the ice machine at your hotel and like, I'm at like that was just that's like the energy that I've been on like this whole time. People are like, "Are you dressing nice for your Zoom call?"
Downstairs.
That's
the one I love.
I'm downstairs.
I'm downstairs.
Yeah.
Let me go to my Crocs real quick and go open the door for you one time.
Yeah.
That's the fit.
All right, Drew. Who do you think would most likely to be the bubble snitch?
Ooh. Man, honestly, I don't know. I think a lot of people, I feel bad, but a lot of people try to label Chris Paul as the guy, and I just don't see it. Tell you the truth, they wanted to use like one on-court incident. I don't see it. I don't know, to tell you the truth. That's a tough question. I would probably just say it's like some random Disney employee who's like thirsty. Just hey Woj, or you see Woj, like, hey Woj, guess what? But NBA player wise, I couldn't tell you.
It's definitely an employee who's down there and they're pissed that they're in Orlando, like in the humidity, like dealing with that. I'm like, it's definitely a disgruntled employee or somebody. So, well, thanks, Drew, for popping back up to close us out. Like we couldn't have done this without you.
Second half about to start.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Sure.
This was awesome. Thank you guys for doing this and giving us all content. And Just an update to those who are here for the huddle. I think Paul and I have been talking about just switching to full on podcast mode because, getting on Zoom, we're all on Zoom fatigue, but this is something we definitely want to keep going. We love it. To talk about hoops at a time where there wasn't hoops has been, a blessing to us. So we'll send you guys more info. Also, we are on the merch train too. So we'll be sending out hoodies and t-shirts that we have, and we're also going to be donating proceeds to social justice related causes. So we will email that out.
Yeah, text
make
us
sure
your
you
sizes.
pop those. What?
Text us your sizes and address.
Yeah, we will hook up all of the people who have joined us. But thank you to everybody who has been making the huddle continue. We're excited to take this to podcast form and see what comes of it. And we're so excited to get to this Dallas and Portland game right now. So,
game time. It's game time.
Everyone, you're the best. Hey, drink your water. And Trey, we'll talk about cereal offline. I got to
your DMs right now.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
You guys take care.